What our parents taught us on how to make money is simply outdated. Even what schools is currently teaching us is oftentimes, well, useless. Inflation has got everybody looking for a side gig, and I want to show you 5 of them that you can start today and make at least $200 a day. The fourth one, for a fact, I know nobody is doing it, so you want to check it out. Many of these side hustles are industries that are emerging this year and are going to be massive with skills that you can develop for the long haul. I'm going to talk you through the concept. We'll run the math so you can understand each one of them in its entirety. Let's jump in. So the first one is creating a niche agency. While I was working for Grant Cardone, I learned an interesting concept that can make anybody a ton of money. Grant had me set up his ad agency, so he would get leads from his website, his Instagram, everything in funnel to his sales team. When the sales team spoke with somebody, they would present our client services, advertising services. There was a monthly retainer of $5,000 each month. Out of the $5,000, we would take roughly $4,000, apply it to ad budget, and the other $1,000 was profit to the agency. Now, $1,000 obviously not going to pay for your rent, your mortgage, and all your living expenses, but you do this concept times 10, 15, 20, 100 times, and you really have a thriving business. 2 things that Grant would do that would make this very profitable. Number 1, 99% of everything we were doing was outsourced. So from the ad creation, ad campaign management, from sending reports and automation, all of that was done overseas. So with that $1,000, you take a little portion of it for expenses, and sending those expenses overseas made it very, very cheap. The other thing Grant would pay for is outsourcing his own lead generation, which is something you can do as well, right? So you take your own team that you've built for your agency, and now you get them to work with you as if your agency was a client. So they're creating ads, they're bringing in leads, and all you have to do is talk to the leads, get them to close. And if you have a couple conversations per week, that's really all you need. Now, taking this to, level 2 is not only do you create the agency and you outsource, but you focus on a very specific niche. And I'm going to give you one example. As I shoot this video right now, I have a team that is waiting for the content so that they can edit, put soundtrack, create reels, get it scheduled to go out on Instagram, work through the engagement, etc. Get it on my website. All of that is happening behind the scenes while I'm shooting the video pretty much. So if you can find a niche that works really well for you and that's growing, this is something that you're going to be able to do for a really long time. One of these emerging areas that you can focus on is definitely content creation. So someone just like me who has an income, has 2 jobs, and I don't have the time to edit my own videos, manage my own content. You essentially find these people, offer your services to them, and charge them a flat fee. Something that anyone can pretty much do. You just have to find out someone who has more than 10,000 followers on Instagram. They're starting to put out content. They're definitely going to learn that it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it's something they likely don't want to do themselves. All right, so let's run through the math. In year 1, let's assume you closed 4 clients. You only have 4 accounts to manage. If you were to bring in $3,000 for each one of those clients, at a 20% profit margin, you're looking at $2,400 each month. You do that times 12, you got $28,800, which is a lot of money. Now, let's assume in year 2, you kind of start getting the hang of it and you can get 2 more clients. So you're looking at 6 clients, but you also, because you understand the clients so well, you can get them to spend $4,000 instead of just 3. You also have found much better systems. Your business is more efficient, so your profit margin goes up to 25%, let's assume. That would be $6,000. You do that times 12, you got $72,000 a year. Now we're talking about some much bigger numbers. Now you get into year 3, you really understand what you're doing. So let's assume you're able to get 3 more clients. So you're at 9 clients, you get each of them to spend roughly $5,000 all in with you. Your business is at roughly 30% profit margin. So what you're gonna do is you do that 30% times, the 5,000 times 9 clients, you're looking at $13,000 a month. Out of that, you're obviously going to pay everybody, but at the end of the year, that's $162,000. This is something that is scalable, it's doable, and there are a lot of people doing it. It's not too late to get started. It's not too late to start working with clients. And even if you cut all of these numbers in half, you still have a very sustainable business that you can grow and manage. Number 2, if you're very introverted, you're probably going to skip this entire section, but bear with me because this is very lucrative, very profitable for you. Becoming a salesperson. When I co-founded a company called advisorhub.com, it's still live. One of the things that we did is we would work with financial advisors to move them from one company to another. So from Merrill Lynch to Goldman Sachs, or from Morgan Stanley to UBS, Bank of America, whatever. We would do that. And you really, as a salesperson, would only move 1 to maybe at a really good year, 5 people in the entire year. The cool thing about it is the average transaction was anywhere from $60,000 to $120,000. So you do that times 5, you have a low year of, $300,000, or you can have a really good year of over $500,000. And I'm just talking like a very small shop, independent. So I definitely think that becoming a high ticket salesperson could be huge for anybody, even if you're an introvert, because there's a lot of digital ways that you can do this now. There are so many high ticket items that you can sell, from coaching programs to events, luxury cars, luxury homes. You just have to find something that you can learn quickly, adapt, and that you're gonna love, and then find a way to get those clients. There's a lot of easy websites that will give you cold calling lists, and you just got to hit the phones. When I started doing this, I used to call anywhere from 60 to 100 people per day, and most of them are rejections, but it's a number game. If you really get 1% of people who will say yes to a next step, and 1% of those people who say yes to the next step, then you kind of can work backwards, and you can know exactly how many phone calls you have to make, how many emails you have to send, and text messages. And again, this is not for everybody, but it is definitely very lucrative. All right, so number 3, I want to take 2 very useful and well-known side hustles, put them together, and get this mega awesome super side hustle working title. So everyone has heard of drop shipping, where you create a site online, you find products that are being sold on Amazon or eBay or Etsy, you go to a website like Alibaba or AliExpress, you buy them at a much, much, much cheaper price, and then you list them on Amazon or your own store. When someone buys it, you then place the order on Alibaba, AliExpress, and they ship directly to the customer. This is very, very, very common. A few of the pros are you don't have to hold your own inventory. You don't have to carry a lot of cash because you're only buying when the money comes in, and you're not super involved. A really cool book, if you want to get started on this, is 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. It's a very, very, very good book for anyone to read, and it will teach you how to conceptualize this and how much money and revenue this guy has made from doing stuff just like this. I did this for a while back in like 2015, and I ended up doing several $1,000s a week just selling bracelets. If you want to watch that video on how I did that, I will link that up here somewhere and you can check it out. All right, so that's part 1. Part 2 is something called FBA, which is fulfillment by Amazon. There is a company that I like. They are not sponsoring this video or anything. It's called Wholesale Universe. And what they do is they go to Saks and Macy's and Bloomingdale's, and they get items that are going out of clearance or out of stock. You buy them at a very steep discount. And what ends up happening is when you purchase that, they have a program where they will work with your own Amazon fulfillment accounts, and they will upload those items to your account and ship them directly to the Amazon warehouse. So all you really have to do is you buy the product from this company. They integrate all the items and all the pricing and everything to your account. They even have a ton of resources on how to manage it. And all you have to do is pretty much let the sales come in. The first time I did this with Ryan, he was actually a client at Grant, and I decided to try what he was doing. So when I went, I bought a pallet of female shoes because he told me that was like the most profitable items that they had. So I bought a large pallet. It was like $5,000 worth of shoes. We put it on Amazon, and very quickly I made that money back. I mean, we're talking maybe a month or 2. I made my entire investment back, and I still had maybe half of the pallet to sell, which is insane. Maybe once a week, every 2 weeks, I would go in and lower the prices slightly. So if I had a shoe that was selling for, $80, I would tone it down to maybe $75, and then $72 and $69 as they stayed on longer. Now, my biggest mistake, and I would still be doing this, to be honest, because I thought it was really cool, is I worked with another client, and that client's Amazon account got suspended. When I logged into my Amazon account from the same IP, my Amazon account also got suspended, and I've never been able to get it back. So they ended up taking like maybe 100 pair of shoes that I still had, and they shipped them all to my house. So literally for a while, my office was filled with boxes of shoes, and I just ended up donating them because I didn't have the patience to sell it on something like OfferUp or eBay Marketplace or anything like that. Again, I talk about that in that video, so if you want to watch it, it's linked above and you can learn the whole story. So that's number 3. You take drop shipping, you power it with something very relevant like women's shoes, put those things together, and you have a phenomenal source of passive income. Number 4, building on concept number 3, and we stay on Amazon. And this is the one that I told you, it's very interesting because nobody is doing this. All you have to do is simply share your thoughts on Amazon. And we are a generation that loves sharing our thoughts online, regardless of who's going to see it or watch it on the internet, correct? My wife and I do a ton of shopping on Amazon. And if you're looking to buy a high ticket item, you know that most people check reviews. So they will look at the rating and then read some of the reviews, but more importantly, they will watch some of the unboxing or the actual reviews. What most people don't know is that Amazon pays you an affiliate fee or a commission fee if you record one of these videos and you upload it to Amazon. So let's walk through this concept. Let's assume you're browsing on Amazon and you see something that you really like. Maybe it's some Bose or Beats headphones. You see that the headphones have a ton of reviews, and we all know that a very small percentage of people even leave reviews. So if the numbers, in the thousands, that's probably in the hundreds of thousands of sales. If you see that the video reviews are only 1, maybe 2 of them, then you know that that's a phenomenal opportunity for you to step in and create your own review. Amazon pays roughly 2% of whatever the product price is if someone watches at least 30 seconds of your video and then goes on to make a purchase of that specific item or something similar to it. I quickly did some research, and there are like hundreds of items that are very high ticket. The brands do a great job at marketing them, but there just isn't a ton of reviews. And you may ask, hey Jay, I don't have any money to buy, $500 AirPod Pros or whatever. But look, you make a purchase, you write a review, and you return it. Don't use it, keep it in great shape, make it as ethical as possible, of course, but that's definitely something you can do. Let's assume some of these Apple headphones get 100,000 sales. At $480 a pop, 2% commission, assuming 5,000 people watched your video, that's roughly $11 per sale. Just easy numbers. Now, if 5,000 people watch your video and you made $11 for each one of those sales, that's $55,000. Now think about it this way. That's one product, right? And it could be over the course of a year, maybe 2. Imagine if you did this for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 100 products. Literally, if you wrote 1 review per day, within a year, you'd have 365 reviews. That's insane. It's a phenomenal way that you can make some money very easily. And a lot of these reviews aren't high production. People are just shooting them right on their iPhone. They don't have a mic. They don't have fancy background. There's no editing. They just shoot it right on their iPhone. Now, if you take the side hustle and you combine it with the outsourcing strategy I mentioned in number 1, where you have somebody looking for all of the products and you have someone kind of scripting out the videos, right? And they're finding out if that product is trending. And then you can actually ship the product to someone's house and have them film the review for you. So it's just uploaded on your account. And very quickly, instead of you making maybe 2% commission, you make 1%. Maybe you do 100 products in just a few months. That would be huge. All right. And last but not least is something that hits close to home, because during the pandemic, I started working from home again, which I love. But my wife and I we didn't need our car. So we ended up selling our car and we bought a better one that's more useful for our family. One of the things I could have done back then is use something like the Turo app to rent out my car. Now, you may be asking, is this actually profitable? Is it safe? I mean, look, if your car is just sitting in the driveway and you're just paying insurance on it, you're still paying maintenance, it's getting older, you're paying, your monthly fees on it, why not? Right? People are willing to do Airbnb and rent out their houses all the time. Why not rent out your car? With an app like Turo, there's another one that's like Drive By or Get By or something like that. I don't know if it's Drive By. But you can rent out your car and you can make some money out of this. They're not going to accept the very old, 1998 Honda Accord, but they will accept up to like 2007, I believe, is the minimum. If we look at the Turo calculator, it says that if you have roughly a $15,000 car, you can make roughly $10,000 a year. Now, it's important that you treat this like a business, because if you can continue growing this source of revenue, you can actually buy more cars, or you can actually, get tax write-offs, pay yourself a management fee. There's a ton of benefits if you treat this like a business. You can definitely make more than $200 a day. All right, guys, that's all I have. If you have any side hustles that you'd like me to mention in the future, drop them below. I'd love to do some research on them. And again, if you have any questions or comments on this video, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. It's the platform I'm most active on. Have a great day, guys. God bless you.